tight bond wood glues, quietly keeping woodworking projects together for over 70 years.
When it comes to the final sharpening and lapping that you need to do on hand chisels, it's really hard to beat a water stone. In order to work on the water stone, we need something to hold on to it to make sure that as we do the lapping or the honing here on the bevel, that the stone isn't running all over the bench and not letting us do the work that we want to so accurately do. So I'm going to show you how to make this water stone holder. It's very simple. Probably make the whole thing out of scrap that you already have in your shop, and we'll get started on that little project in just a second here. Construction is straightforward. I've got a board here that everything rests on. The key to this is a little wedge that's going to hold everything in place. So in order for this to work, what you want to do is get a board that's cut longer than your stone. At this end of the board, we're going to put a stop. At this end of the board, we're going to put this tapered wedge. We want to make sure we leave enough room on this end that we can put a clamp there to secure this to a bench. I've got the parts here that I need in order to make a base, a new base for the water stone, just like you can do in your shop. So I've got a base board that is about 4 inches bigger than the stone itself. Then I've cut a couple other small pieces. This one is 1 inch wide, 4 inches long. This one is going to be my stop here at the end. I've got another board that's wider, and I'm going to show you how to get the tapers out of this so that we can lock the stone in at this end. That's going to have a wedging effect that keeps everything in place. I've also got a pinner ready to hold the parts in place until the glue dries. The glue is important. Because the stones are water stones, this surface is often going to be dripping wet with water, so you want to make sure that you use a waterproof glue to hold the parts together so that your board, your base here, can stand up over the test of time. So let me show you how to make the taper on this, then we'll be ready to put parts together. My locking wedges are coming out of a board that's 4 inches long and 1.5 inches wide. That 4 inches, that's about 1.5 inches longer than my whetstone is wide. What I've done here is I've measured 1/4 inch up on this end, 1/4 inch up on this end. You want these tapers to be real long and gradual. Anytime you're locking something together with wedges, long gradual taper is better than real short tapers. It's going to do a much better job of holding it. Now all I need to do is connect the dots. And the easiest way to make this cut really is on the bandsaw. Before you assemble, which is what we're ready to do next, take the time to do just a little bit of sanding on these tapers. What that'll do is smooth out the bandsaw marks, and it's going to make them work better. They're going to lock better if they're not rough cut off the bandsaw. Now we're ready to assemble. So what I want to do is start at the far end. I want to start with the wedges, and I want to get one edge put on so that it's flush with the end of my baseboard. And remember, make sure that you're using the right glue because of the water that we're going to have on this thing. We want a waterproof glue on here so that these parts can't separate over time. I'm going to put this one on so that it's even with the end grain. Then the next step is put the other wedge in place, put the stone in, and here I've got the wedges set so that they're not seated all the way in. In other words, I want to leave some room so that as I slide this, there's still lockability. So I've got those only partially pushed together, the stone against them. That's how I locate this piece on the other end. We're all set here. When you're ready to use this, you can insert your water stone, lock it in place with the wedges. Now remember that with those brads, all those are little clamps that are holding on to these pieces until the glue dries. It's really all about the glue. Because you use the right glue, even though this water stone is going to be dripping wet when you use it on here, what you've made now is a base for your water stone that it's going to last a lifetime in your shop.